rejection. Let's talk about the feeling of being rejected. Most people would do anything to avoid the feeling of being rejected. As a matter of fact, some people choose careers in order to minimize the chances of being rejected on a daily basis, like a lot of salespeople have to face. Now, if you are in sales, if you are in leadership, if you want to be successful in pretty much any endeavor, you have to become comfortable and embrace rejection. Now, I know it's painful. I know most people don't like it. And I know you heard this message before, but you have to understand that in order to be successful, in my perspective, you don't want to avoid situations where you can be rejected. Instead, you want to look for opportunities that you can potentially be rejected. Now, obviously, we want to minimize the chances of being rejected, not by hiding, but by becoming even more effective with communication, sales, and influence. That's the big idea. But most people minimize the chance of being rejected by hiding, by not communicating, by not selling. They set up their lives in a way that, oh, I never feel rejected. Well, because they never ask, they never present, they never argue, they never nudge. The point being is that when I say you have to walk towards, walk for opportunities that you know. Sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, you're going to feel rejected. They're going to reject you. That's how you build up the muscle. Look, I'm going to share 3 ideas here. But before, let me explain this. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years, according to neuroscience, according to behavioral science, we live in tribes, then eventually, if you're a guy or a girl, I'm assuming it's a guy, right? You did something bad, they kick you out of the tribe. Now you're being rejected by the tribe. What happens? Well, now you have to find food, shelter, you have to fight animals, you don't have social connection. So that feeling of being rejected by the tribe is painful. It's really painful. Biologically, when you feel rejected, it's just painful. Nobody likes it. Fast forward to now, you're in a business of inducing change. If you think about it, if you're a doctor, if you sell technology, if you're a scientist, if you're a leader, your job is to move people from point A to point B, to influence change. They're here, right? By talking to you, by listening to you, by adopting your services or products, you want to move them to point B. So when you create that change on their lives, guess what? You have to talk, you have to communicate, you have to ask questions, you have to tell stories, you have to ask, you have to nudge. And when you do those things, you expose yourself to rejection. So it's impossible to be successful in the business of change, in the business of leadership, in the business of speaking and selling without facing rejection. Now, you want to minimize the ratios. That's why you train communication. But in the end of the day, you have, number one, understand that biologically, we are all wired to feel pain when you're rejected. So don't take it personally. That's strategy number one here. Don't take it personally. But I don't like it. Nobody likes it. It's part of biology, number one. Number two, there are things that you can do to minimize the feeling. Now, one of the things that I do is I always try to master the meaning. When I present and I speak and they say no and I'm being rejected, I keep asking these questions. What does that mean? What is the meaning that I'm attaching to this experience? And I know the difference between me and my cat cannot choose meaning. I can. I choose meaning. I have one event, 10 different meanings. So I choose an empowering meaning so that I don't feel that pain. I know some old school salespeople or sales training, they say, next. That works for some people. So, number one, don't take it personally. Number two, become a master of meaning. Choose a different meaning when things don't go your way, when people say no. And number three, look for situations in your life, in your career, that you can be rejected and walk towards. Don't move away. Walk towards. If you say, well, if I ask this person, I might be rejected. Great. Walk towards. If I ask this person, if I want to speak on this stage, if I want to close this business, they may reject me. Great. Do anyway. Because by doing this, you're going to condition the muscle. And eventually, rejection will not feel as painful and you will become even more successful. Don't speak to inform, speak to transform.